risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 204. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff, who also just so happens to be your current, reigning, and still defending Scholars of Wrestling champion.
Still defending?
You know what? I will keep on defending it until I lose this title, which will be never.
Yeah, you know what would be great? Okay.
Actually defending the damn thing.
You gotta defend it first. You gotta defend it first before you say still defending.
Well, hey, I am still the one who will be defending his title, Scholar Brian. Thanks for showing up, by the way. And, of course, the other voice in this equation is, of course, the irrepressible Scholar Tarek.
Not just... No. You know.
I do know.
At this rate, with how I'm going with these predictions, you're soon to be two-time reigning, defending, undisputed Scholars of Wrestling champion. Hell, he hasn't even won the belt yet, and he's doing better than you. What kind of champion are you?
I'll show you what kind of champion I am. I will show you as we go down the card and we go into the pay-per-view that was WWE Backlash 2018.
You'll show us on the pay-per-view that you lost?
Yes, I will. Because a wise man knows what he can learn even in defeat. Which, you know what? I haven't even lost because, the title was not on the line. You know what?
It's fine. Silence speaks the most. Okay?
He's going out of his
way.
way.
No, it doesn't.
You see, here's the deal.
He's making excuses.
Okay? You talk too much. You don't talk enough.
Did you listen to the show last week?
But
the title was starting to.
It's okay. It's okay.
Poison his ego. Here.
It's okay though. Okay, because you guys are talking about the championship. Okay, it's gonna be a surprise when I come out of nowhere at Money in the Bank and take it from both of you.
Well,
says the guy who's not upset for losing. It's not even the fact that it's a bad pay-per-view, because I will agree, Backlash was a very bad pay-per-view. But you still do not want to lose prediction shows. That's not going to get you that title.
You know what? It's fine. Okay? It's fine because I know when you guys are going to defend. Because you never defend unless it's a big pay-per-view.
What?
Wait. I will give you kudos. You were a defending champion.
Thank you.
Okay.
Only one pay-per-view.
You were a defending champion.
And we were all like, yeah, you should defend it.
This one, okay, decides that we're going to have a pay-per-view prediction show for the Greatest Royal Rumble, which is basically a glorified house show. But okay, he wants to have a prediction show, but he's not going to defend the title at this prediction show.
Because
so that's okay.
Predictions are fun.
That's okay.
Aren't predictions fun, Brian?
They are fun, okay. But if
What's
you're
wrong
gonna
with
be,
fun? Why
if
do you
you're
hate
gonna
fun?
be, if you're gonna be the one, okay, we're all like, we don't need to do predictions for this. It's a glorified house show. It's it. And then Jeff is like, no, it's a pay-per-view. We're gonna do predictions. Are you gonna defend your title? No.
You're talking like it's not fun.
And then we come into Backlash. Okay? What's your excuse for that one, Chief?
Because, as we'll soon find out on this show,
he wants to be the first person to hold the title and actually wait for the third pay-per-view to have to defend the belt.
May I finish? No. The answer is because what is more fun? To just defend the belt on a random middle of a storyline kind of show, or do we want a big climactic showdown between all of the Scholars of Wrestling to determine who is truly the best? Which one would you rather have, Scholar Brian?
Both, which is what I did when I was the champion.
Here's what you're gonna see when I am the champion.
Whenever
that may be. I'm not gonna be that guy.
Welcome.
I'm not gonna be that guy who's like the guaranteed next champion. No. Okay. What's gonna happen when I'm the champion? Mark it down. Write it down. okay, every pay-per-view that I am the champion of, the title will be defended.
Okay.
Mark it down. Because I'm that kind of champion. I'm not the one.
Not yet.
You heard it, people. Episode 204 of the Scholars of Wrestling. Scholar Brian just made it clear whenever he wins the belt, if he wins the belt anytime soon, he's going to defend it at every pay-per-view.
And you know
Everyone. You can even put it as a rule for me. Because that's what's going to happen. I am a fighting champion. Unlike...
Sign. I put it on a piece of paper. Sign it. I want that John Hancock on there.
John Hancock.
It's Herbie Hancock.
There you go. Herbie Hancock, written down on paper. It'll be a photograph on the Facebook page. It's done. Okay?
All right.
So
yeah.
wait,
none of this 3 pay-per-view shit.
Here, I'll take. I didn't even get to that. I was joking that I was gonna do that, but I ended up not doing it. Let's see. I'm gonna take the picture right now. Brian, every pay-per-view defense scribbles.
All right. You heard it here first, and you'll see it on Facebook later. But for right now, let us make all strategies and all results known. This is WWE Backlash 2018.
Showing that your title win was nothing more than a fluke victory.
That is the end of the story.
No,
it
it's
is not the middle. This is the middle of the story. The middle. So let's get into the middle of the story, to the real story of the evening. That's a result of WWE Backlash, starting off with the pre-show, which certain people were right about. Ruby Riott defeated Bayley in the pre-show. Isn't that great?
I think that was a dig at you,
Isn't
Brian.
that great?
You know what?
Isn't that lovely?
You know what the deal is? Okay. I'm not even going to respond to that dig because I have a dig at the WWE. What does it say that your pre-show match is the second best match on the card?
That they want a good strong start.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna agree to that.
Here's the deal. Okay, I know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that entire match that you're probably talking about, the ending fucking killed it as a match for me. So I don't really give a shit. In match terms, it makes sense. Okay, this match, okay, was the second most enjoyable match for me of this card. So that should tell you how this review for this pay-per-view show is going to go.
What I liked about this match, I didn't see this one live. I actually had to go back on the network to watch this because I was taking care of my family. It was a good match. It mirrored a lot of what happened with Ruby Riott versus Sasha Banks, but more that one point where Mandy Rose and oh wait, no, not Mandy Rose. Absolution. What am I doing? I'm getting those two mixed up again.
The other former 3-person tag.
Sarah Logan and Sarah Logan and
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan. They're both similar names. How can I forget that? Of course, they kind of take each other out, and then it leads to the Riot Kick. 1, 2, 3 victory. Once again, the numbers gain. I'm glad Ruby Riott is on this hot streak. Got kind of ruined on the Monday during the qualifying match, which kind of completely takes away our prediction last week, sadly. Now I'm just going for Ember Moon just because, she's a fan of Avatar.
Well, you know what? If
this
this storyline with Roman Reigns is going the way I think it's going, we might still see Ruby Riott in the Money in the Bank match.
The only way I can actually see that is if they have one more match of the second chance, kind of like what they did with the.
Because I really don't think they have enough. I don't think they have enough talent on the Raw side to not have Ruby Riott or Sasha Banks.
Four women on Raw, 4 women on SmackDown. Let's see. What did they announced the matches that are for next week? Correct.
I didn't catch those.
I don't know what matches are next week, but you have Ember Moon. You're gonna have Alexa Bliss, obviously. So and then you have 2 more after that. You'll probably have Bayley. Okay, and then it'll be you'll probably get that second chance match, and it'll be It'll probably be Ruby Riott to get the storyline between Sasha Banks and Bayley. When is that gonna happen? When is that finally going to?
That's what
come to a head. Because
at this point, who cares?
Exactly.
I find myself confounded by that feud, but again,
But here's the deal with this. Here's the deal with this match. Okay, it was exactly what it was supposed to be. You knew that the Riot Squad was gonna get involved. You knew that.
You said you can't. Don't say you knew that Ruby Riott was going to win because that you would have predicted that.
Yeah, I said Bayley. I said Bayley because I thought they were going to do something like, "Hey, Sasha Banks lost, Bayley won, and we could continue that." But no, they keep going.
They don't know what to do with that feud.
But the thing that makes most sense is what happened here, and so it was a typical pre-show match, and it's sad when a typical pre-show match is the match that I enjoyed second most on this card. That's it.
And there you go. Next match we had, which is probably, from what I heard, a lot of people's match of the night. Seth Rollins defeating The Miz to retain the Intercontinental title.
Match of the night? I am one of those
easily.
People. Oh my god.
Dude, anyone who says anything different, I don't care about your opinion. Anyone who says anything different than this was match of the night is wrong. You are a failure turtle. You're wrong. You're always gonna be wrong.
Why are you looking at me when you're saying that?
Because he's talking to you.
How do you know this was not my match of the night?
He wasn't making an assumption. He was just saying. He was just simply saying, if this wasn't match of the night for whoever, then you are a fool. Or in his case, a failed turtle. But
yeah,
this match is just showing that Seth Rollins being the Intercontinental Champion is the best thing that's going on Monday Night Raw.
It showcases Seth Rollins as it should. It showcases what The Miz can do by himself, which is the main story here for me. Isn't even Seth Rollins retaining. Okay, isn't even Seth Rollins. It's The Miz by himself coming this close to taking out Seth Rollins and getting that tying Intercontinental title run, then going to SmackDown and beating Jeff Hardy by himself.
Which, that was another great match.
So, okay, this just goes to show that The Miz is proving to the WWE right now that he doesn't need an entourage. He doesn't need The Miz to rush. He doesn't need Maurice in his corner, which is what the issue everybody, casual fans and them alike, have had with The Miz in the past. He never does it by himself. He always has someone around him. This last few weeks has proven that The Miz can go out and have great matches and win a few of them by himself.
What I like about it is, as you said, he doesn't need an entourage. He doesn't need Maurice. It's slowly actually building up his rank. So when we finally get that Daniel Bryan versus Miz, hopefully, we said it last week. Hopefully at SummerSlam, It's actually a match where it's going to be like, we know this is going to be a great match.
It's like,
but now they're adding so much more because they're building up Miz to a point where he actually can be on the level.
Yeah, it's one-on-one, okay, and there's every chance that The Miz could actually win, even though it's a Miz-Daniel Bryan feud. He probably won't, and he probably shouldn't. But you actually think in the back of your mind, hey, The Miz could actually pull this one out by himself. Mm-hmm. And before the last couple weeks, I don't know if you could actually say that.
I agree. They're definitely doing something with The Miz now, and Seth is just way too good in the role he's currently in.
Because Seth Rollins, you know with Seth Rollins, he came out on Raw and gave Mojo Rawley a good match. So it's
actually, it was a great match. I'm like, wow.
So it's like,
if they keep going with this with Mojo, then I actually hopefully will see a bright future with him.
Yes.
Now away from Zack Ryder. But it's with Seth Rollins, he is proving that the Intercontinental Championship is the championship of Monday Night Raw.
He's proving right now that Seth Rollins, and I'm including AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in this and all that. AJ Styles is, not Seth Rollins is the best thing going in the WWE right now. Bar none. That's it. Done.
And the fact that he's helping raise that prestige of the Intercontinental Championship, making it the title that everybody wants to watch, the title match that everybody wants to watch.
The workhorse title, yeah.
Which is what it was back in the 80s, back in the 90s. Which is putting me on cloud nine because of my love for that title.
And what I love about it, is he came out on Monday Night Raw and was like, it's Money in the Bank time. But I don't care. Because I'm in the business of making this title the title on Raw. And I was like, someone actually said it. Kudos. I love it.
It made me react. What's the Universal title? What is that? Why do we need to care about that?
Because you care about it because it's the Brock Lesnar Fruit Loop title. That's why.
In that case, I don't give a shit about it at all.
Exactly. And it's going to become the Roman Reigns Fruit Loop title. And
that title has just lost so much prestige. It's just sad.
Which is why
it makes me crave fruit roll-ups.
Which is why, with all this Money in the Bank build-up, if they do what I think they're going to do, and they're going to have Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal as a qualifying match to get into the Money in the Bank match, all this leading up to it doesn't matter because they're going to give Money in the Bank to Roman Reigns at that point. So it's like I really hope that's not where we're going, and we have that throwaway match at Money in the Bank with Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. I hope that's where we're going with that, but if not, that it's going to ruin the Money in the Bank match for me.
I'll tell you what. I've got my own predictions as far as where this whole thing is going as far as Money in the Bank entries. But we'll get to that at a later point.
But yeah, this match itself, match of the night.
Beautiful story told in the ring. That's the Seth Rollins doing the frog splash to the minutes, 3/4 from the other side of the ring. The story they told about his knee, potentially re-injuring his knee, taking 2 skull-crushing finales
and kicking
out of them. This match was just.
I'm like,
this match was borderline perfect for me.
This match earned those 2 kickouts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this wasn't a Roman Reigns or a John Cena special where it's just kicking out his finishers to kick out. This match earned those 2 kickouts.
Mm-hmm.
Where we were like,
it's to kick out because they're actually fighting for something, which is the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, so it's like yeah, this is a match of the year candidate for me, easily. But it's a candidate. Probably not going to win. I already have my eyes set on that one. But this is definitely a candidate.
Lovely, lovely stuff. But speaking of lovely stuff, we've got next on the card Nia Jax defeating Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title, and we got a broken Bliss here, kids.
The story of this match annoys the shit out of me.
It annoys the shit out of me too. Pardon my language, but
it may annoy the shit out of you, but as I was telling Jeff last week, it gave us adorable segments from Alexa Bliss, the moment of Bliss.
But here's the deal. Here's my problem. Okay, I don't believe it. I don't believe in the story they're telling here. Okay, the 5-foot pixie blonde princess bullying the shit out of Nia Jax. Okay, if they're gonna go with this storyline, it should have been like it was at WrestleMania, only quicker.
Very true.
Okay, none of this. You bully Nia Jax, a plus-sized woman, and you're like 90 pounds soaking wet. Okay, that's Alexa Bliss. Okay, this match should have been, if they're going with the storyline they're telling, okay, this should have been over minute flat. Just it's if you're gonna go with that story, you gotta pay it off the way that story is meant to be paid off. Okay, it's not a back and forth. That's not how you go here. That's it.
Would you have really said the same thing when Nia Jax was facing like Sasha Banks or Bayley or Asuka?
If it's a bullying storyline, yes. If that's the story, if you are going with a wrestling storyline, I'm a better wrestler than you, or anything other than a bullying storyline. And if you're going with the standard wrestling, the way that Nia Jax and Sasha Banks went at it when they had that feud last year, okay, I could see it back and forth with that. It wasn't a bullying thing. It was just Nia Jax was big and beating the shit out of Sasha Banks.
But Sasha was still managed to
yeah,
work her way to gaining a victory over
exactly
Nia.
And I'm like, that's fine. Okay, but you're going into this storyline with a 90-pound woman bullying a 250-pound woman and expecting me to believe that this is going to be a back-and-forth match.
I fully believed it was going to be a back-and-forth match. Remember, Alexa Bliss is the #1 female heel on Monday Night Raw. She's methodical. She's a plotter. She's more than just a beautiful face. And I'm not going to say pretty face because she's fucking gorgeous. Oh, there's my one. She's more than that. She's established herself as someone who can face someone like Bayley and Sasha Banks and actually defeat them. So it's believable for me to show that she can she can try and work her way to actually hold her own against Nia Jax, but still end up losing because she's the bad and she needed to lose.
I second that.
As I said. Okay, in a more wrestling-wise storyline, I'd be like, okay, I can see Alexa Bliss with the plotting and all that. I just think the way that the way they did this storyline, I'm like, first of all, the storyline shouldn't have been this in the first place.
Fat shaming, as Charlie put it, absolutely.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been this in the first place. The moment the fat shaming came, I was like, every match from here on out should be Nia Jax just, pardon the pun, should just be eating fucking Alexa Bliss alive. Okay,
You knew exactly what you were saying.
These matches should be 2 minutes long, and Nia Jax just beating the shit out of this woman.
All right,
and now and moving on.
I would agree to that with the match later, but for this match, I fully disagree with that.
Here's the problem.
It can't be
this is the later match. This is the later match. The first match for this bullshit was at WrestleMania.
No, not when I mean later. A different match that happens later in this show. That's the point I was going across. That's the part I agree with. That's your thoughts is my thoughts for the later match that we're going to talk about soon. For this one, this is probably the end of their storyline, at least for right now.
I hope so.
Because if it actually did go 2 minutes or a minute with this like a squash match, it would have taken everything that Alexa did as Raw Women's Champion and just smushed it there too. I don't want that. I want her. Alexa has reached that point where she is up there. She's like, for me, she could go on a good wrestling quality match with someone like Charlotte and Asuka.
Now going into the actual match.
But with her bullying during the match, it makes you want to side with Nia even more. But the thing was, the match was more. What's the word? The match was very slow paced. It started killing a very, very hyped New Jersey crowd. This is where I was actually going when I started that. I was like, now actually going into the match, now that I'm done bad mouthing the storyline of it. Okay, this match was boring for me. It was boring.
Okay, and Nia Jax still does nothing for me. Okay, her finishing move is a Samoan drop. And I'm pretty sure that's the only move she hit at the end of that match. And it killed Alexa Bliss. Going off of my thoughts, it should have. But, okay, this match was 15 minutes long. It was between 10 and 15 minutes long. Okay. No. And then you're going to have Nia Jax cut a promo afterwards? Can anyone look at me with a straight face and say that was a good idea?
Absolutely
not. It
not.
was a good idea.
Except I know you're lying because I see the grin on your face.
I tried.
Let's see.
I thought I could do it. And
I'm looking at the time. It was 10 minutes.
Yeah, well,
granted, it should have been at least 7. You should, because there was a lot of dead time in this match. There was good moments of like Alexa constantly trying to break out of the Samoan drop because this whole storyline, they know each other. They were quote quote friends, so she knows what Nia is capable of, and then she finally lands it. When it was a super Samoan drop, that's more understandable. That actually could keep a person down than just a regular Samoan drop, but it's women's wrestling apparently.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this right now. I did not like this at all.
Oh, it was that promo that they had Nia say, which was basically nothing more than "Be a Star" campaign.
Yeah,
and "Be a Star" promo.
And any good thoughts that I might have had about this match, that promo killed it.
You had a crowd that in the beginning was for Nia, and then you had this promo, and it was completely turned around. The crowd was like, yeah, this is bullshit. Boo! 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 It was that. You took the crowd and you just killed it. And I actually had a couple of friends who went to that show, and when they talked to me about it, they were just like, yeah, this was just terrible. Yeah. Well, as soon as they told me they went to Backlash, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm sorry.
You know what? That brings up a good point. Like, when I realized that this show was going to be in our backyard, I was like, oh, wow, I'm actually kind of sorry that we didn't get tickets to it. By the time the show was over, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I missed this one. But anyway, that's for another conversation for later on in the show. For right now, we still had Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy went over Randy Orton and is still your U.S. champion.
It was a good match.
I'm not even
but for
going
SmackDown.
that far. I'm not even going that far. Even a SmackDown match, this was boring. It was bad. It did nothing for me either. With these two guys, okay, with other guys, I'd be like, this is good for a SmackDown match. But we've seen Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
You want a bagel?
Randy Orton have a great pay-per-view match at Royal Rumble 2008. We've seen them be able to go. This was Randy Orton doesn't care. Okay, and this was Jeff Hardy's first pay-per-view match back, so I didn't expect him to do much. But I mean, this was a showcase of two guys having the most simple match that they could actually have. And with these two guys, it's a massive disappointment. So even though it might be a good match for SmackDown, for Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, that means it's a shit match. That's it.
I'll agree on that one. But I wasn't angry about it as you guys apparently.
Oh, I'm not angry about it.
It
just needs to be said. Like, when you've seen these two guys and you know what these two guys are capable of, and they put together
swantoning off the Raw scaffolding. Yeah.
No, I don't even mean that. Just in the matter of a good match. Okay, we've seen them be able to do it on a pay-per-view at one time, and when this is the slot that they come out with on a pay-per-view, okay, yeah, I'm gonna call them out for shit.
I will say, though, this match for me personally was just sort of dead on arrival, just because I find it really hard to get emotionally invested in either of these guys, especially Randy Orton. I've been burned down on Randy Orton doing anything for quite a long time. Jeff Hardy was the stronger figure in this match in my eyes, but even then, it's just like, okay, I've seen you guys do your thing before. This match had a really tough time just trying to solidify itself in my eyes, and it just fell flat right from the get-go. These guys tried, but even so, it's still not either of these guys' best work, and I just had a really hard time getting emotionally invested.
Do we want to talk about the Elias segment that happened after this match?
This was actually the most fun that I had during this actual pay-per-view.
It was
this
actually
was fun for me.
Well,
anytime No Way Jose comes out is a good pay-per-view in my eyes.
I got to tell you, after watching the boringness that was about the half hour before this, yeah, it probably went on too long. Not gonna lie to that, but I was consistently amused during this segment, and sometimes that's all a segment needs for me to be like, hey, this was entertaining. It's certainly more entertaining than the last two matches that I saw.
Well, let me put it this way. When I was watching this segment, Michelle came in. And for those who are wondering, yeah, Michelle is my wife. She used to watch wrestling a long time ago. She actually was a good fan of wrestling, went to a few shows with me. This was her first show that she watched in a long time. The first thing she saw was this segment. Her immediate response, what the fuck happened with wrestling? What is this garbage? So, in a way, it made me kind of embarrassed. This segment embarrassed me. I love Elias. I love the New Day. I love the fact that the shoulder things couldn't fit around Big E. I liked Rusev showing up. I like that it's kind of like people who have some kind of like musical factors in their character. And you may like No Way Jose. I honestly don't. So when he came out, I'm just like, oh geez, okay, this is the final nail in the coffin for me. Can we please move on? And then you had Bobby Roode come in and give him the glorious DDT, and then he, no joke, is like shaking his butt, twerking with his robe still on, and I'm just like, oh no, Bobby, what are they doing to you? Stop it! There's nothing glorious about this. This is sad. Please, no. Go back to NXT when your name is actually relevant. Because now being on the main roster, you haven't done a single thing right. Yes, you won the United States title, but it wasn't a memorable title reign. Oh man, I'm like, oh no, this is not good. Oh well, no.
Well, one thing I can say that I do think was good was this next match, Daniel Bryan defeating Big Cass. I'll tell you what, this one to me, I may have gotten the actual prediction wrong, but I actually found this, even if it's not the best match on the card, this is one that I found strangely satisfying. Mostly because it did everything it needed to do. Daniel Bryan got a win, showed him as competent, and it also showed Big Cass as being still dangerous.
Well, here's the deal for me. Okay, first of all, I'm thankful that I'm the only one who got this match right.
Of course you are.
But also, okay, I came into this with the big worry. Okay, Big Cass should never be beating Daniel Bryan. Ever. He's not good. I don't care what anybody has to say. He is now showing that the only thing good about him was that he was teamed up with Enzo. In my case. He is boring milquetoast. That's it. Yeah. Okay. And so, the moment that they said he was facing Daniel Bryan at Backlash, I was like, oh, no. Are they actually going to do that? Are they going to have boring milquetoast beat Daniel Bryan? Like, I talk a lot of shit about Daniel Bryan. Let's not get me wrong here. Okay. But the one person he should not be losing to, one of the people he should not be losing to, is Big Cass. So the fact that he got him in the yes lock and Big Cass tapped out 2 seconds. I counted it. Okay, that's it.
That was quick.
I'm like, okay. First of all, you're setting up this dude as you're trying to set up this dude as this badass big guy. Okay, and he's tapping out quicker than Chris Jericho tapped out to the figure 4 leg lock.
To Daniel Bryan, a former world champion.
I don't even care. Okay, it's still 2 seconds, and Chris Jericho tapped out like 5 to Ric Flair's figure 4 leg lock. Okay,
well, then that's also talking Jericho and Ric Flair.
The point is, okay, if you're setting up a big guy like that, okay, and you're gonna have him tap out to Daniel Bryan in 2 seconds. Okay, I don't even care who it is who's putting the hold on you. Okay, 2 seconds. and this is one of the, you need to understand, we're not talking about a jobber here. We're talking about a guy you're trying to build up. Whether we like it or not, you're trying to build up Big Cass as something huge. Something that he doesn't deserve, but we're here now. Okay? And he's tapping out to Daniel Bryan in 2 seconds. Okay, I don't care. Yeah, after the match, he came back and got his and beat the shit out of Daniel Bryan. So, yeah, maybe he was playing possum or whatever for a beatdown at the end. It's still bullshit. Okay, the match itself did what it needed to do. Daniel Bryan got the win. Big Cass. But Big Cass, it just makes Big Cass, a guy who you're trying to build up, look
like a big ass.
No. Look like a fucking pussy is what it makes him look like. Okay, that's it.
Hey, if Daniel Bryan got me in the yes lock, I'd probably tap out pretty darn quick too.
Yeah, but that's you. That's you. We would tap out quick because we are not professional wrestlers that they are trying to build to be the top of their fucking brand. Yeah, I went too. I'll do it.
I'm the only one that made the rule with the one, so
yeah.
I only threw that second one is because I was quoting my wife.
Yeah,
but
so it's like, am I like completely off base here?
No, you are not.
Not completely off base.
You are not off base. If anyone's really off base, I'm going to say it's you, because with you said they did exactly what they needed to do with Big Cass. That is farthest from the truth. I'm seconding Brian. All this did was make Big Cass look like a bitch, and shows that when it comes to actual in-ring abilities, Big Cass has little to no wrestling capabilities. He's not a great wrestler. He should. At first, I was okay with it because he had a good promo on the Miz TV segment. I was invested on what they were going to do with Big Cass. But with what I saw in this match, this was the shortest match on the card, in just over 7 minutes. And all this did was just show all Big Cass knows how to do is do a big boot and a clothesline, and then a body thing on the turnbuckle. That's all the man can do. And the way how Brian put it, he was just put in the thing, and barely 2 seconds he tapped out like, I even said it, like a bitch. When the people were saying, when the fans were quoting, chanting, you tapped out, I was like, you tapped out like a bitch. You tapped out like a bitch. This took any credibility that they could do with Big Cass being a top-level heel and just threw it out the window. It just made me realize that them putting Big Cass in a feud with Daniel Bryan is possibly the worst thing they could have done for him. Now he has to go back to square one because there's nothing they can do right now to make me feel like he can be a credible threat right now on any form of main event level. Hell, he's not even on the same level like Baron Corbin. And you guys know how I feel about Baron Corbin. He's nowhere close to that level. And I thought they could push him to be that kind of guy.
I agree with you 100%. However, I offer a counterpoint. Big Cass is not meant to be a top big name heel. anything, he is meant to be a mid-card heel at most.
And how do you know this?
Because I saw the same match that you did. They're trying to set him up with someone like Daniel Bryan, someone who can work well with a piece of milquetoast and get a halfway decent middle of the card 7-minute whatever intermission style.
But here's the problem.
This is what he's meant for.
Here's the problem. Okay, it actually needs to be halfway decent to actually.
It wasn't at all decent.
Here's the problem.
When it comes to Daniel Bryan's side, yes,
when it comes to Daniel Bryan's side, it will always be decent.
There you go.
It will always be decent. But
it takes two to tango.
It takes two. And
I'm
Big
not
Cass
denying that.
and Big Cass did not pull his end of the bargain. Whether he's supposed to be a mid card heel, an upper card heel, I still don't agree with you that they're trying to make him a mid card heel, because I don't think you do that with Daniel Bryan. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
Not to mention, I've also got I've got other ideas for what they're planning to do with Daniel Bryan down the road, which makes this more of a layover match as far as Daniel Bryan's concerned, and just to keep him occupied and to hopefully, as far as the WWE hopes, to do something with Big Cass. I'm sorry, go on, continue.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, if they want to do something with Big Cass, he's going to have to do a lot better than this, and they're going to have to tell a lot better story in his matches, because I'm sorry, because this is a Daniel Bryan match. This match was shit. I'll say it right now.
Hey, that's
okay.
Fine.
It was not.
This like Daniel Bryan had to lower.
If Daniel Bryan has to lower, you're supposed to raise yourself up to be on Daniel Bryan's level. If Daniel Bryan has to bring himself down to be at your level,
and
then,
this is not just down. This is down.
Yeah, no, this was not a Daniel Bryan match. Should not be decent. Should not be halfway decent. Okay, this is a Daniel Bryan match. Okay, as I said before, I talk a lot of shit about the guy, but there's reasons for that we've already gone through. Okay, everybody knows that he is one of the top 2 pure wrestlers in the company. Okay, him and AJ Styles, top 2 pure wrestlers in the company. Okay, he should not be having a decent match. He should not be having a halfway decent match. If Big Cass can't, and the fact it wasn't even decent. It wasn't. Okay, I don't know what people are watching to say that this was a decent match, but the only good thing about this match was that Big Cass didn't win.
That can contribute.
Yeah, and it contributes to it making it a halfway decent match. If Big Cass won, this is the biggest bullshit of the night.
And I will put forth the other following possibility before we move on. I can only speak for myself when I say this, but I would posit that this affects more people in addition to me. Could it be that everyone's expectations of Big Cass was so low that when he provided the match that he did, that it was actually somewhat better than what a lot of people were expecting?
No.
You're the only person who I actually ever heard from anybody in any form of wrestling reviews that gave anything positive about this match.
I didn't say it was all that positive. I was just saying that my expectations were so low that, you know what, it was above that.
You said it did everything it needed to do. How can that not be positive?
I didn't say it wasn't positive. I'm just saying Big Cass was established as a heel, and Daniel Bryan was not a bitch.
Well, you got your
That's not saying much.
Optimism.
That's not saying much, I grant you, but again, it was what it was.
Yeah,
and it was a fail. That's what it was.
The only good thing about the match was after the match, when they actually established Big Cass as the heel. During the match, Big Cass was the bitch.
But then again, I also see that as part of the match that was delivered.
Sorry.
But even that end segment, when him beating him up, it did nothing for me because, okay, you're nothing more. Yeah, you're a sore loser, but
yeah, you're still a bitch.
You can't. You honestly can't do anything. Like, you honestly can't do anything to have me take you seriously.
I'm like, yeah, you just beat up Daniel Bryan after the match, but you still tap like a bitch. So it's
which people are going to keep on buying into. Which honestly,
and a big guy heel shouldn't be tapping like a bitch. That's not how big guy heels work. That's it.
Well, again, I've got a feeling we're going to revisit this whole big cast issue in the near future. Moving on, we still have Carmella.
It's in a feud that is in his level.
We've got Carmella defeating Charlotte Flair, and you know what? It
was surprising with their booking. I'm now taking what I've said earlier. This was the match I was hinting at earlier with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. This match should have been a lot quicker. I'm not saying it should have been a squash, but everything that they've established with Carmella leading into this match was completely thrown out the window in this. It was established that when she was Money in the Bank, she was trying to find with Charlotte knocked out, she tries to cash in. She gets up, she runs away because that's how she's being booked, as a cowardly heel who can't get the job done. And then you have the double iconics. Take her completely out, and that takes her opportunity to cash in, and now she's the one, she is the, as I like to call it, the Kevin Owens champion heel. Because when he was Universal Champion, all of his title matches had some sort of outside interference where he needed to keep the belt. This match was the complete opposite. They made it seem like Carmella, all out of the blue, could be in the same level as Charlotte. And at that moment, I'm like, WWE have done absolutely nothing in the past few months to make me believe that Carmella can actually be on the same level as Charlotte. That she can actually beat Charlotte clean, which is exactly what happened. It was like, wait, this is Charlotte, the same one who defeated Asuka's undefeated streak, which was they've been building for 2 years? Maybe even longer? What was the point? You can't if it's the point of trying to make Carmella look like a credible champion, you can't just do that out of the blue. It's Jinder Mahal all over again. But this time with Carmella, and I said it last week, I was invested with the character, and she was slightly getting better. But now this took what I said last week. I'm like, wow, what was I thinking? Because I don't believe any of this. The only thing that I actually still agree is she's an annoying heel.
See, I'm surprised you were even able to get that much out of this match, because all I came out with this match, okay, is the thing that came out earlier that John Cena and Carmella were possibly dating. Okay, the only thing
it's not true.
The only thing I could think of at that time was, if she sounds like that in bed, I'd run away.
Well, this discussion took a very odd turn.
I could not pay attention to this match at all due to the screaming and the yelling and the way her voice would crack every time she'd start taunting Charlotte. I couldn't watch the match anymore because I couldn't take it. Okay? I had to read the results of what actually happened on this match because I couldn't take it anymore. My eardrums were bursting.
This one was another one that just left me angry. Flat out angry when the match ended. I'm just like, oh my god. And then you have the aftermath, which was on the post show. They're constantly saying, I beat Charlotte, I beat Charlotte, I beat Charlotte. I was like, okay. I was okay with you being the annoying, prissy person, but you are just killing any type of faith I had in you. Now, it's not it's now a lot more than what I said last week. It's just, oh, you're the heel, I'm supposed to hate you. I am just despising everything about you. I don't want you on my TV now. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I don't want you on my TV just because I don't want to hear your voice anymore.
And the fact
it was bad.
and the fact that they can try and have them say, "Oh, Carmella can hold her own against Charlotte and actually beat her." No, I cannot agree to that. I refuse. He's like, "Oh, I proved the naysayers wrong." No, you just took all the naysayers and just infuriated them because you're saying we're all stupid. We're not all stupid. We're looking into this and it just doesn't make sense.
It's almost like a heel is lying and exaggerating about her accomplishments.
You know what? And that's perfectly fine. Okay. Except when
this is more to it than just her being her heel character. This is a lot more to it than that. It's a lot more than that.
You need to actually be good at doing your heel character and able to do it and screaming and yelling and being... when I'm not able to actually physically sit down and watch your matches because of what you're doing in the ring, not even the wrestling. I couldn't even tell you how good the wrestling was in this match because I couldn't pay attention to it. Because of all the screaming and the yelling. I tried to mute the TV. It didn't work because I hit the button too fast. but I had to walk away. I can't even give this match. I can't even put this match as a consideration in my rating later on because I didn't finish the match. I couldn't. That's how bad.
That should add to your rating.
There's being your heel character, and then there's being something else. And Carmella, that night in particular, Carmella was being something else, not the heel character that I've grown to even appreciate a little bit on SmackDown. She went above and beyond on Backlash, and sometimes above and beyond is not a good thing.
All right. Moving on, we've got AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in a no contest.
Talk about a match that pisses everybody off.
Really?
When it comes to the match itself, it was an awesome match. This is as you were throwing at me before, this was my number 2 match. I do agree. The ending was shit. The ending pissed me off.
Double dick kick.
Granted, every time when those guys low blowed each other, the fans were going absolutely nuts. We're going absolutely nuts, and which I can actually confirm with my friend who was at the show. He's like, "Yes, we were losing our goddamn minds after every single low blow, and when they both did the double low blow kick, we were losing our goddamn minds." But when we actually realized that now they're at 6 count, 7 count, oh no, they're not going to end it like this, are they? 8 count, 9 count, 10 count, it's over.
And that's my main thing with this match. Okay, you did that. Fine. Whatever. I now understand why this wasn't the main event. Okay, whatever. That's fine. You did this in New York. You did this. And it basically for me, and for a lot of people, when I read the internet and I watch videos and I do all this shit, it did, in fact, ruin the enjoyability of the match for me. Like, I can't go back, watch it, and enjoy the first 20 minutes of the match knowing what's going to come in that 21st minute. I can't do it. It's never going to be enjoyable for me again. So it does bring the enjoyability of the match down for me because of sometimes bad booking decisions do that. It could take an awesome match and take it down to a merely okay one. And that's what this and that's what this did for me. It's like, yeah, I know where we're going with it. I know that they're probably gonna they're either going for a last man standing kind of deal, or they're going for something else, and that's perfectly fine. But okay, first you're doing AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. There was no way that you could fuck this feud up, but somehow, in my mind, the WWE found that way. They found I'm not enjoying this feud anymore. I barely enjoyed it in the first place, in the build up to WrestleMania. Okay, I barely enjoyed that, and now we're just going, hey, Shinsuke Nakamura is gonna give him a nut tap every week. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the pay-per-view, and how are we gonna end it? Double nut tap. Okay, progress, but really, this is your AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura storyline? I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't.
If they didn't do this at the Greatest Royal Rumble, where it was pretty much the exact same thing, the match ended on a 10 count. Granted, it was ring out. Like, that was the part that actually is the most infuriating part on me. Because, like I said, I loved the match. And if they didn't do it a week ago, if they didn't do the exact same thing a week ago, then the ending actually wouldn't have bothered me so much. But it's the fact that they're doing this, they did another 10 count to end the match is kind of infuriating. I understand they don't want to have a solidified winner, especially because now Shinsuke's the best thing that's going on with SmackDown. I'm sorry, I'm no speak English, and Renee's calling like, we all know you can speak English. You've done it. Sorry, I forgot it. I'm just like, he is the most. I love his charisma. He makes what he's saying so fantastic, and the fact like AJ Styles is nuts. Look at the camera. Look at the You see what I did there? But so am I. I'm like, all right. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it still angered me how the match ended. But with how SmackDown went and what him and AJ Styles said, I guess I'm kind of forgiving it. It's still just the fact that they did it 2 major events in a row, the same ending.
Because I will say that I enjoyed this match heartily. The ending caught me off guard, certainly, but maybe 30 seconds afterwards, I realized I was instantly okay with it for one main reason. This is not the end of the feud. This is not the blow-off match. There will be a winner, and I'm going to make a bold prediction here. Not only will there be a winner, it will either be in a Hell in a Cell or in an Iron Man match.
Well, we're probably going to have to wait for that one.
I'm going last man standing just because of the way that they ended this.
We're probably going to wait a while for that one because now Samoa Joe is inserting himself into the title picture. We're going to be getting triple threat matches for right now.
Even so, it's still going to happen eventually.
This might have pissed me off a little bit more because I was already pissed off about everything else on the card except Miz versus Seth Rollins. But I'm like, really, you have to. They gave you this story on a silver platter. You could have you can do whatever you want with it, and it'll be good. Okay, you found the one thing that no, and you guys can forgive it, but I can't. It bought yes, the match itself. As I said, the first 20 minutes, awesome. As an AJ Styles Shinsuke Nakamura match should be. But everything starting with the low blows, yeah, the crowd might have been going crazy for it and whatever. But
they were going for it. But the second they were reaching 6, 7, they were like, "No, don't end it. And once they ended,
yeah. And you know what?
Which is exactly what makes you thirsty for a conclusive finish that will happen when the blow off to this feud happens.
Well, here's the thing, okay? That's fine if it was once. If it was one time. If they did it one time. Okay, but guess what? They didn't. It was twice. So now everybody's just pissed off. And I'm pissed off. And I shouldn't be pissed off about AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm sorry, but I don't have the faith in it that you do anymore.
So does that mean when the third match happens that you will be checked out?
But
Probably.
the third
If
match
the third-
did happen.
This is the third match.
This was the third match.
I don't really see it as that. It's not the third match in the sense that this is the feud ender, when it's clearly not. This is not the feud ender.
Just because it's the third, just because they have a third match, normally the third match is not the feud ender. Look at the New Day and Usos. How many matches did they have before they finally ended their feud?
Well, number one, that's also the outlier, and number two, when I say third match, I'm talking about the feud ender. In this case, yeah, that probably wasn't the most apt description to say, but there must be a feud ender.
Oh, and to answer your question, yes.
You're checked out?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not checked out.
I do not share that sentiment.
I'm not checked out either, just because. Well, one thing, it's a world title. It's actually a world title feud that I give a shit about.
Well, that's a problem for me, because because as you said, okay, they turned Shinsuke Nakamura heel. I was like, the match at WrestleMania wasn't that great. Okay, fine. They're building up to something better. Okay, fine. So we go to the Greatest Royal Rumble, which you say is a pay-per-view event, which the WWE says is a pay-per-view event. We know it's a glorified house show. So, okay, they do the double count-out finish. Fine. Because it's a glorified house show. Nobody really cares at that point. Okay. Week later. They do it again. No, sir. I'm done.
I'm not done yet, but it's like I'm still invested on what they do, of how they're progressing the story, because I like AJ Styles, I like Shinsuke Nakamura so much. But as you said, they got their finisher has to be something fantastic, and I know it's going to be. But I do love what they've been doing, building up these matches. I just don't like the fact that their actual matches ended in bullshit and bullshit after bullshit.
And there you go.
If the Greatest Royal Rumble title match didn't happen, I probably wouldn't have been mad about this.
That's probably why I'm so mad about it. It's not even the fact that it was the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's they had two pay-per-view events within 2 weeks, and they did the same finish.
That's
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing that actually angers me. But it's not. It's unlike Brian. It's not taking me out of the feud. I still like this feud. I like Shinsuke. I love his promos. Him being charismatic. Sorry, no speak English. I love that. He's just because he's so charismatic with how he's been, with what he says. It makes me really like the guy. It makes me really want to see what he does next. And I can't wait. And hopefully we actually get a conclusive ending to this feud.
And there you go. The eyes have it. And then we've got the penultimate feud. The penultimate match of the show. We've got Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley defeating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Hey, guess what? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to break up again. That's the only thing that came out of this match.
And that's frustrating. I actually didn't. I don't like that because
I don't like that. I didn't like this match.
It's very hard. It is very hard to get the crowd not cheering for Braun Strowman. They somehow managed to do that tonight.
They somehow managed to do that because they have the heat-seeking vacuum, the heat-sucking vacuum that is Bobby Lashley as his partner. Bobby Lashley and TNA worked. Okay, because they actually let him be like this hulking force, like this badass or whatever. What they did on Raw with Bobby Lashley,
it was weird.
Okay,
I want his hat.
I'm telling you, it's been a month. I'm done. I'm done with Bobby Lashley.
I'm done. I want them to reveal, because the one thing when you hear the Braun Strowman pushing over the tree when the kids didn't have him be in the tree house, or the whole thing with the Iconics saying they had what was it, grandfather that was sad most of his life but found joy when he saw Charlotte lose. Those stuff is just, it's so crazy, it's funny. But when you have Bobby Lashley's story and they're pushing it as actually something legit, it's a weird as shit story about his three sisters and the objects, the broom, the blanket.
I played with a dirty towel.
The towel and their fathers. I'm like, I hope this is like some sort of reveal that he's just literally just some kind of nut job.
I'm like
it turns out that his sister, the sisters come. It's like, we didn't have any of those things. What are you talking about? And he's just literally insane.
I would love it if his family comes on the show one day and it's just like he has like two brothers. It's like, I don't even have any sisters.
The reveal is the sisters are nothing more than people he kidnapped. And it's like, we really don't know this guy, and he gave us these weird objects. He gave us his father's helmet and saying that I am his sister that keeps it with me at all time. And I met the person who he jammed the towel down his throat. He was my boyfriend. He was my husband. I want them just to be this big reveal that Lashley is just insane and have this be his heel turn.
And I wish I had faith that they could come up with storylines.
If
like
that actually happens, that will instantly be.
But instead,
the part that even cemented that, I'm like, I really hope this is all just him being insane. Was just how it ended, him turning to the camera. What were the sisters' names?
I don't even remember.
He just turns to the camera and he just points up, just names the three sisters. I love you. Smile. That's how the segment. I'm like, I don't know why, but for some reason I'm kind of terrified. But I don't think it's the way they're menting. No. They're menting me to be this way.
No, I think that Bobby Lashley is just a really fucking boring individual. And they're trying any way possible to make him interesting. And it's going back to his first show with the WWE. That's not how you do it. Well, how you make him interesting is what they did in TNA. Just come out and bum rush people and just beat them up. Bobby Lashley was the Braun Strowman of TNA. That's what got him over. So team up with Braun Strowman. No, that's not going to work. Okay? That's not going to work. You're actually bringing Braun Strowman down. Okay? And now you're going to cut that promo. If it's what you're talking about, that would be amazing. But this is the WWE we're talking about, and this is just going to be a normal interview segment every week where he's just talking about his family and, hey, I'm a good guy. Fuck off.
I want him to keep cutting these promos if he keeps doing it the same exact way, just to make him look absolutely insane.
Let's talk about the match itself.
There was a match?
Yeah. This match sucked.
It was bad.
What I hated about this is it was just at the expense of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. One of the best things one of the best things going on with Raw.
The only thing this match did was set aside the fact that Sami Zayn, I don't know how this is going to work, but I think they're angling for Kevin Owens as the face. And I guarantee you, okay, Kevin Owens as a face isn't going to work. Because Kevin Owens' mannerisms as a whole are very heelish. So I don't see it.
And speaking of Braun Strowman, we went through an earlier match where they had them plug in Be a Star, an anti-bullying campaign. You have one of the biggest faces of WWE taking two guys who were already defeated. They were ready to leave. He brought them in just to beat them up some more. To basically bully them into submission, and to leaving them as nothing but just, I won't say just out cold, what looks like lifeless corpses. yeah, this is not the right idea that you should be doing for Braun Strowman. And then you do it again with him. At least this time, him and Kevin Owens had a pretty decent match for the Money in the Bank qualifying match. But it still ended with him running him down like a train.
Yeah.
But I feel so bad for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I don't want them to break up. They're awesome together. Why do you want to take something that people legit like away? Again, it's another situation where I'm just like, I'm just angry, and now it makes me sad because I'm getting angry at two things I absolutely love when it comes to WWE: Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and Braun Strowman. Why are you doing this to us? Why do you delight in torturing me?
Because Bobby Lashley is a crazy person, and he needs serious medical attention for his gigantic head. Anyway, moving on to the final match of the card. The delightful Roman Reigns defeating Samoan Joseph. Who do you got?
Because this was smart.
What do you think? We want another predictions? What?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Yes.
Well, what do we got? We got about 30,000 out of the 35,000 leaving immediately when this match started. That's what we got.
Let me tell you.
They were into the opening part, the opening bit, where Joe completely destroyed Reigns.
Oh yeah.
At that point, I'm like, oh my god, are we serious? This is how you're really going to be closing off Backlash with this? The match ending as a no contest. God damn it! And then the match actually happened, and it was nothing but rest holds. And that's what killed the crowd. And that's what got the footage, the pictures, the videos of people during the match getting up and leaving. It's having them do chants like CM Punk, "This is boring, beat the traffic."
That was hilarious.
This was a standard Roman Reigns match. By the book.
Oh my god! When he was when he was in the Coquina clutch, and then I like the footage that they show that he actually did tap out when he was put in the Coquina clutch, but they're not acknowledging that. So moving aside, it's that thing. I said it to you. This is the same guy who kicked out of 6 F5s, who kicked out of 4 FUs. Once upon a time. 4 attitude adjustments, including one off the top of the turnbuckle. So the second he looked like he was out. And in normal circumstances, the ref calls for the match. But once they're still checking on that hand, I'm like,
he's hulking up.
He's going to be hulking up soon. And at that moment, that's it. I'm done. And then spear over. And people have been saying this is the first time that they've really ever seen anything like this on WWE TV, or at least on WWE pay-per-views. Once the end bell rings, they usually like to get crowd reactions. The second they showed that crowd, it was the crowd leaving, and right away. It could be from the fact that this event was a half hour longer than it should have been. Or just the fact that nobody wants to see Roman Reigns anymore. I said it once. I'll say it again. Roman Reigns is now beyond saving. There is absolutely nothing they can do to save him. Right now, what they need for Roman Reigns is to have him off TV for a good long while.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the most unanimous thing anyone's ever said about this match. No matter who I've spoken to, it's always extreme negatives, especially when it comes to this particular match. I'll freely admit, I actually fell asleep to this match. Just because even with someone I really enjoy, Samoa Joe, the Roman Reigns machine I just find so incredibly boring that I have zero investment in it.
Hell, even with Samoa Joe, they didn't have him really do much. Like I said, most of the match and most of the matches throughout the card were rest holds. Carmella, rest holds. Nia Jackson and Alexa Bliss, rest holds. It took the New York, New Jersey crowd, a crowd that is normally on fire, a crowd that is normally super into the show, and you killed it. After Seth Rollins and The Miz, you killed the crowd. When it's reaching to that point where people are leaving the main events, this one, let me put it this way, people wouldn't be leaving if it was AJ Styles and Shinsuke as the main event.
But the overall ending would arguably not be any much better.
Oh, it would be people angry, yes, but they would still be They would still be booing. They wouldn't be immediately walking out the door.
Yeah, looking back when I was thinking about the ending of this match, just looking at the way everything was going, the only real solution I've ever heard to really fix the ending to this match and make everything come together is putting Seth Rollins and Miz on last. That would probably be the best way you could possibly end this entire show. Which is certainly a testament to the Intercontinental title, but it's definitely not a testament to whoever was booking the match order. But yeah, I honestly fell asleep here, and from what I saw the next morning from Twitter reactions, I really was not missing a thing.
Well, because legit, this is basically WWE's way of saying, we think Roman Reigns is better than everybody else. We give him all the main events. Doesn't matter whether he's in a title match or not. Did that match deserve to be the main event?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the match itself deserved to be the main event. The ending would have pissed people off all the same, but you still would have had the people in the stands.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
Okay. But with this, okay, this is basically Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble all over again. This is it's a singles match. Okay, nothing is on the line, no stakes at all. Okay, why does this get main event over everything else? When you have a WWE title match on the card, when you have the Intercontinental title match on the card, it just shows that the WWE doesn't give a fuck about what the fans want. It proves without a shadow of a doubt what we've been saying all along.
And I think that's why more and more people are really, really saying that right now.
Yeah,
before
it
was
like,
just the core audience. Now it's more people.
Before it was everyone had the idea that they thought more of Roman Reigns than everybody else. I mean, like, you could see it and come up with your own thing, but there was the idea. There was no solid proof. There was none of that. But this, we have the proof now.
And from what I've been reading, the whole storyline plan that they have for Reigns is to give him the Daniel Bryan storyline, where the authority keeps screwing him out of the title.
No.
Guess what? The only reason that worked with Daniel Bryan is because of who Daniel Bryan is and what he looks like.
And the simple fact is, when they're trying to keep him away from the title, that's not just storyline purposes. That's legit. We can, when they're trying to do this with Roman Reigns, we can see through that nut like a glass of water.
There's such a thing as, I guess it's called narrative dissonance, where you can present the storyline in such a way that, oh yeah, like what we got with John Cena for years. Oh, can he overcome the odds? He's such an underdog. When in reality, we also know that on screen, no, he's not an underdog because he wins all the time. And B, we also know this because in the background of WWE, we also know that he's a top guy in the eyes of the company. So if you want to see him as this like big dominant, if you want to put him out there as a big dominant Superman character, then yeah, maybe more people would buy into it. But because what we see on screen and what the narrative that they're pushing does not reflect the reality of what we, the audience, knows to be true, then yeah, we're going to reject that instinctively. And even though John Cena absolutely did have his problems, Roman Reigns is just like trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. At least John Cena serves a purpose. Roman Reigns is just a man without a country. He's a soldier of fortune without purpose or direction. We don't know anybody effing explanation. Fell in love with the girl of the Rock show, and I did not fall in love with the Roman Reigns.
It's so. Speaking of John Cena, like the real difference between John Cena and Roman Reigns is like when people saying, "Oh, we don't want John Cena as the guy anymore." The big question is like, well, who do you see filling in those shoes as the guy? There weren't a lot of choices back then. John Cena actually filled those shoes quite well. But you look at Roman Reigns' case, there's like, oh, who can you see to fill in that spot? You have plenty of names now who can fill in that spot at being the WWE guy. Clear as day, and who can honestly fit in those shoes way better than Roman Reigns can. Seth Rollins, but as we said, I even said he should be the face of the company. And then you have someone like Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. You have plenty of names who you can present as your face of the company. But the fact that they are so hook, line, and sinker for trying to push Roman Reigns as the next John Cena, we refuse to buy it because it's impossible to see them being in the same league with one another.
So that all being said, what's the final rating you would give this show?
I want to hear yours first because I'm more intrigued with yours.
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 goat face.
No, come on. Be serious. Come on. The show's about to end. I want to get out of here too, so...
Okay, in all seriousness, I cannot give this anything other than a 1.5, 1 out of 5 peach fuzz.
One is clean shaven.
Clean shaven, then. What is 0 out of 5? Just decapitated?
Honestly, I feel like we should actually change our rating system to add a 0.
Yeah,
the only
0 is
reason,
decapitated.
I'll say this then, okay? The only reason this has a face is because of Seth Rollins versus The Miz. Okay? It's going to get a clean shaven for me. But without Seth Rollins versus The Miz, I was going to go Jeremy John style and give this black hole of death. but
it really makes me want to go rearrange this facial hair system.
I'll give this a Marie Antoinette out of 5.
But yeah, I'm gonna give this one a clean shaven 1. The saving grace was that Seth Rollins versus Miz match, but as much as I loved that match, it just wasn't enough to save it. Mm-hmm. To save this event, and as of right now, this is my worst pay-per-view of the year, and this is easily the worst pay-per-view of 2018 for WWE.
And that's a damn shame.
That is a very damn shame. Will there be worse after? I don't know, probably. But as of now, hopefully they learn from their mistakes of this mess of a pay-per-view and just never give anything like this again.
So there you go. The eyes have it. But in the meantime, you've heard from us. Now we want to know what you, the Scholars of Wrestling audience, have to say. So leave us a comment on all across social media. Join in the conversation. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're on Facebook, again, show us some love. Look us up under the names The Scholars of Wrestling Show. Give us more likes. We like to be liked around these parts. But moreover, we like to be a part of the conversation that's going across all over the world. And the best way to do that, to reach us directly, is to check us out on Twitter. Starting with our lead account, at ScholarsOW, for all the latest wrestling uploads and show notes and everything else. Or if you go want a little bit more up close and personal with us, you can check us out on our private Twitter accounts. Fool, where can I reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
Brian, where can he reach you?
You can reach me at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can reach me at I'm Robbie Rage. Join us for all the fun. Check us out. It's going to be great. And hey, one thing I've realized is that a good conversation can make even the most mediocre show a heck of a lot more enjoyable. But anyway,
Or more infuriated of the show itself, because of what we discussed, this show made me hate the show even more.
And they got some minor enjoyment out of it. It wasn't all bad.
It was still pretty bad though. It was pretty bad for me. Like, I was gonna give it probably Peach Fuzz, but now with what we discussed, it came down to the clean shaven. So,
and we would know, because you know who we are. We're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
See you all for a better week in wrestling next week.
Better be.
It's out.